Hey guys, so Josh from Horse Torque Diesel, that's his handle on YouTube, or his YouTube channel. He was talking about my sanding block, and I just thought I'd show. I had a couple guys ask about it, so I was just going to show how I would prep this head. 24 valve head, the same. Just something to be aware though is that if you have a low spot, or if the head is not flat, this does not work. You have to make sure the head is flat. So I do have videos talking about it, but you need to take a straight edge from corner to corner, and then from corner to corner, and then straight, and then across this way. Usually if you go corner to corner and then straight, and make sure that it's not over the allowable warp for your cylinder head, and then you can do this process. I recommend to have it surfaced because you do get a better surface finish for the head gasket to set to than you will doing this. But this is, if there's no machine shop around you, you are in a time crunch and you can't wait, this will work as long as the head is flat. Let's get after it here. I'll show you guys what I do, and then we'll go from there. Now, we'll go through the tools. If you're cleaning the head, I recommend to hit it with wire wheel. You can do it on a drill. I usually use it on a die grinder, just a cheap, wire wheel. You don't need anything special. Now, you can use a razor for cleaning off, cleaning off the, the excess, you can see it scraping the stuff off. I personally don't use a razor. Obviously, I do for some things, but not for this. So what I use is these. This is what I use. So there's the part number. And what it is it has, these things are awesome. They're not overly cheap, but this one, the one that I actually use is a Mac brand, but it's actually the same. Lyle makes it for Mac. It looks exactly the same. So what it has is it has a carbide edge on it, and it's not like sharp to cut you, but it is a sharp edge, but it doesn't catch on stuff. So it's super nice that way. So what I do, get you guys in the stand here. So what I do is, and then the sanding block, I guess I should mention the sanding block. So this is the sanding block that Josh was talking about. I've talked about it in some of my other videos. It's a steel, 3/4 inch steel block, flat bar basically, with the handle on it, and it's been machined on the backside so that it's perfectly flat. And that's what you use to go back and forth to see if you have low spots. So you take this tool, like I said, you can use a razor. It's just I like these, so I use these. I will see if I can find a link just so you guys can see. I'd imagine you can probably buy them on Amazon or something like that, but I'll see if I can find a link. I'll put it in the description there again, as soon as I figure out how to do that. So you can see the material, just the dirt that it pulls off. And this is, it's not a marring tool, so it doesn't screw stuff up. This works awesome for taking gaskets, like if you're doing any type of scraping, this thing works awesome. Works on aluminum heads as well, all that stuff. So, but you can see, like, it's taking the shining it in spots, but it doesn't take anything, the material off. It's literally just taking dirt. One thing you do want to watch is that the carbide is really hard. So you want to watch that it doesn't, you don't catch it on something hard, because you can. I've never chipped this one. I've had this one for over a year, and I use it every day. Like, this is, like one of the things that's in my pocket pretty much all the time. So you got that thing cleaned up. As far as that goes, there's no gasket. This one was actually pretty clean. Now we've already, you do need to de-oil it, obviously. This one's already been in the washer. This one's actually getting surfaced, but I just wanted to show you guys the process per se for doing it. So, and I always keep this little rubber cap. I know lots of people just throw it away. I always keep that. I've had this thing for a year and I still have the rubber cap for it. So if that tells you something. But I like keeping the rubber cap so then it gets banged around or dropped. It doesn't break the carbide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wire wheel and we're going to clean this. And then I'll probably put that in fast forward. And then we'll come back and we'll show you the sanding block part. So at this point, like I said, as long as the head is flat, the light's a little low here, guys, but I don't have any light. My light right above has died. But basically, at this point, I use a 600 grit, no, what do we got in here? 400 grit sandpaper will work, especially for a 12 valve. What I do is give it a good liberal coat of WD-40 because you need something to hold, to suspend the filing off of the block. And being this thing steel, you really don't have to do much. You do want to watch that your paper doesn't fold up on you though. You just need to get the edge to stay up. And all you do is just go back and forth, back and forth. Basically, you just need to keep doing this. You can clean it up a few times if you want. You just clean it off and then see, but I can tell by looking at it that it's not ready yet. But basically, you just want to make sure that you're covering the whole thing, basically on every pass. And sometimes this doesn't take very long, sometimes it takes a long time. Just depends on how flat the head is. When you're doing it, you want to make sure when you're doing it that you bring the block past the head and then bring it back and then do the same thing on the other side. Just for you guys that have never done this before, you want to make sure you go past, 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 past. Not rocket science, but just so you understand. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot this off brake line. I just don't want to get crap on the lens here. So that gives you an idea. Like, I'm not going to continue to do this on this thing because, like I said, it's getting surfaced anyway. And basically what you want to look for is, so you can see how the head is considerably nicer looking than it was, right? Because he's taking the staining and stuff off. But what I don't like, and I'll show this head maybe when we're surfacing it, is that you can actually grab that line where the head gasket, where the fire ring on the head gasket was touching, and you can actually grab it with your fingernail. I don't like that when you can grab them with, like, this one's really bad because it's bad. Would it work? Probably. It probably would work. The issue is that is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. So if I can grab it with my fingernail, that means there's at least a thou and a half there that I can grab. So I don't like it. I like that surface to be perfect. And then you can actually see, like, the striation from the original surface, which wasn't, you know, like, fantastic. But you can see where, see how here where the block is touched real nice? Then you can see the spots where it hasn't touched yet, right? And so that's their low spots in the head. And you know, it's just, you know, in my opinion, if you have access to a machine shop, I would have it surfaced, have the, you know, have them magnaflux it at the very least. If they don't have a pressure test unit, make sure they magnaflux it. And there again, I have a couple other videos show you where to, you know, where to check and how to do head gaskets and stuff like that. But this is the same process we do with the block. It's identical just on the block side. It's just that you want to put something into your cylinders, and then your oil gallery holes. I like to put stuff in, but we have to be very, very careful with that because whatever you put in there, you have to be able to get back out. You do not want to lose it in there. So be very, very careful of shoving something in there. But just so you're aware. But you know, we put something in the cylinders. I usually brake clean and tape them off when I'm doing it, but it's completely up to you guys how you want to do it. But same process we do on the block. So anyways, I just really a super in-depth video, but something you can do at home. You need a sanding block. There's a solid steel block. You need something that's perfect, so you can use, something that's really, it can't be flexible. It needs to be a solid sanding block, because you want to know if you have low spots, high spots, that type of stuff. So anyways, like, subscribe. You got comments, hit me down below. And if you see anybody that's doing this, maybe hit a share on it, and or refer it to the channel. I appreciate it, guys. Take her easy, and we'll catch you on the next one.